No way I would want to do that.
Jake Paul has officially been KO'd, but not in the ring. It happened outside of it, when he pulled the plug on the fight he'd been chasing for months. And the reason? Mike Tyson, a true icon of the sport, threw in a surprise request, a random drug test. Now, you might be thinking, aren't drug tests standard before a fight? Yes, but Tyson wasn't talking about the usual pre-fight routine. He wanted to keep Jake on his toes with a spontaneous test. No warning, no time to get ready. We all know why that might have made Jake hesitate. Something smells off. Right, but Tyson wasn't about to let him walk away unscathed. He's not called the baddest man on the planet for nothing. He lives up to the name. Even now, November 15th, 2024, was hyped up to be a historic day in boxing. The stage was set for a generational showdown. Mike Tyson, the heavyweight terror of the past, versus Jake Paul, the loud-mouthed influencer turned fighter.
Ow.
This wasn't just another event. It was a test. Could Jake's bold bravado really hold up against Tyson's raw strength and legendary status?
We got a YouTuber fighting the greatest fighter that ever lived.
The announcement of the fight shook the sports world to its core, as social media lit up with predictions and heated debates. Fans and critics alike wondered if Jake Paul, despite his recent wins, had finally met his match. Could he really stand toe-to-toe with a boxing legend? The hype was real, and the buzz unstoppable, with memes, hashtags, and endless discussions flooding every platform. It was clear this showdown had gripped millions. Jake, who always seemed to crave the spotlight, was riding high off a winning streak that had silenced many doubters. His confidence had turned into outright cockiness, making headlines for his bold trash talk in interviews and across social media. He didn't hold back, taking shots at Tyson's age, questioning his endurance, and even claiming the legend's time was over. Jake painted himself as the face of boxing's future, the fearless young lion ready to dethrone the old king.
Every time these fighters sit across from me and it's YouTuber, it's Disney Channel, all that shit, and then you end up on the fucking canvas and you'll see it's gonna be no different here.
If Jake Paul thought his trash talk would shake Mike Tyson, he was sorely mistaken. Tyson, the man who once ruled the heavyweight division with raw power and lightning-fast knockouts, stayed calm, composed, and completely unfazed by the noise. He had nothing to prove and everything to remind the world of. While Jake ran his mouth, Tyson remained laser-focused and grounded, with the mindset of a seasoned warrior. When questioned about Jake's constant jabs, Tyson kept his replies short but heavy with impact, making it clear the fight would be a brutal wake-up call to anyone doubting his fire. And when the two came face-to-face at the August 18th, 2024 press conference, Tyson didn't just show up. He took over the room, shifting the entire tone of the build-up with a series of shocking announcements that left Jake and everyone else speechless. First, Tyson declared that the only way to win would be by knockout. No technicalities, no soft endings, just pure decisive victory. The crowd went silent, then erupted in disbelief, because only Tyson would dare throw down a rule like that and back it up. But he wasn't stopping there. He then dropped a bombshell, calling for surprise drug tests throughout training, no scheduled testing, no heads up, just sudden checks at any time. And it was obvious who that was targeting. Jake Paul, the influencer turned boxer who had long been followed by rumors of rigged fights, fishy stoppages, and suspiciously clean wins. Tyson was sending a loud message: no cheating, no games. If Jake wanted to beat him, it had to be real, clean, and earned. Jake's reaction said it all. The confidence drained from his face as Tyson spoke, and you could see it in his eyes, the panic setting and the trash-talking. Showman was suddenly confronted with real stakes and real consequences, and with TKO wins off the table and no way to duck a drug test, Jake was staring down the toughest challenge of his career with nowhere to hide.
2-minute rounds. You want to make it 10 threes? Don't talk to me about shape. Don't talk to me about shape.
Stay in shape, be all right.
You want 10 threes?
Okay.
You want 10 threes?
Jake was quick to throw down the legal card, claiming that Tyson's sudden changes broke their agreement and crying foul over how unfair it all was. But let's be real. Jake knew exactly what he was signing up for when the deal was being made back in March. He had agreed to let Tyson set the terms. This wasn't some sneaky loophole or fine print drama. Jake had simply underestimated what Tyson would bring to the table, and now faced with rules he couldn't bend, he was scrambling. To find a way out, his outrage felt less like a stand for justice and more like a last-ditch move to dodge a fight he wasn't ready to face. The media ran wild with the story headlines, screamed about lawsuits and drama, but longtime Jake watchers weren't fooled. We've seen this routine before, when the pressure spikes. Jake flips the narrative. It's the classic formula: distract, dodge, and shift the blame. Tyson, on the other hand, stayed ice cold, completely unfazed. He made it clear this fight was going to be clean, fair, and final. No shortcuts, no shady calls, just fists and resolve, and with the tension between them now fully boiling over. Tyson's bold new rules didn't just reshape the match, they elevated it, turning what was already a headline bout into something with legacy-level weight. It wasn't just about winning anymore, it was about defending the integrity of the sport itself. And as November 15th, 2024 creeps closer, the air around this fight feels heavy with history, because if Jake thinks he can post his way through this one, he's in for a rude awakening. Tyson isn't playing, and when the bell rings, Jake better hope his jaw's tougher than his tweets, because this time the fight is real and there's nowhere to hide.
Whatever, wherever, whenever, I don't give a fuck, so it's all talk.
Naturally, the media jumped on the drama like it was the hottest scoop of the year. Headlines exploded with Jake's accusations, and pundits everywhere started picking apart every post, trying to figure out if there was any real substance to his claims, or if it was just Jake playing his usual blame game. Jake insisted the no TKO rule was Tyson's way of rigging the match, stacking the odds. So Jake couldn't sneak in a quick win, and the surprise drug tests, according to him, were a low blow, a calculated attack on his reputation. His frustration boiled over fast, and before long, his social feeds came a storm of rants aimed squarely at Tyson, accusing him of sabotage, fight manipulation, and outright career sabotage. His loyal fan base initially rallied behind him, defending their guy like always, but even some of them started raising eyebrows. Was this about fairness, or was Jake just trying to talk his way out of trouble? The answer came loud and clear when Jake made the move no one saw coming. He called off the fight, the match that had dominated headlines for weeks and promised to be the biggest night of his career was suddenly off the table, and the boxing world was stunned. What started as a dispute over rule changes had exploded into a total meltdown, with the whole event collapsing in front of millions. And for many, Jake's decision to walk away wasn't just disappointing, it was a quiet confession that he'd lost not in the ring but in the eyes of the public. And just when things couldn't get any stranger, Logan Paul jumped into the mix, spinning a tale that Jake once dreamed of: joining the Navy SEALs. Yes, according to Logan, the same Jake Paul known for viral chaos and flashy antics once wanted to become a hardcore military operative, and to top it off, he called him a real killer Mike.
Talking.
Logan came out swinging, aiming his words directly at Tyson like he was about to drop the ultimate bombshell that would change everyone's mind. He claimed Jake had spent his high school years dreaming of military service, fantasizing about becoming a Navy SEAL and serving his country with full Rambo energy. But let's be honest, trying to imagine Jake Paul as a Navy SEAL was like picturing a cat swimming across the English Channel. It just didn't line up. This was the same guy who made his name as a Channel actor before turning into a viral prankster, an internet sensation. The image Logan was selling didn't quite fit the reality, but that didn't stop him from going all in, trying to reshape his brother's reputation into something tougher, more serious, more heroic. Tyson, though, was completely unfazed. True to form, he shrugged off Logan's dramatic pitch like it was nothing more than a fly buzzing in his face. To him, it was all noise and distractions. Tyson was focused on what mattered, and no amount of storytelling was going to change the fact that talk means nothing once you're in the ring.
Mike, like, he wanted to be a Navy SEAL before he started boxing. Like in high school, he wanted to be a Navy SEAL. He wanted to go kill people on behalf of his country.
Tyson's response cut through the noise like a blade of reality for anyone still entertaining Logan's dramatic tale. While Logan did his best to rebrand Jake as some hidden warrior waiting to be recognized, Tyson wasn't fooled. Not even for a second. He had been through too many real battles to fall for flashy words or sentimental backstories for Tyson. This wasn't about who could craft the most compelling image or sell the boldest version of themselves. It was about who had the skill, the strength, and the will to back it up. When the bell rang, Tyson made it clear that stories don't win fights, punches do. And in his eyes, all the hype meant nothing once the gloves were on and the ring was closed.